Hello, it's Jasmine here. In this video, I want to talk about aftercare for your lip tattoo treatment. So, disclaimer, this is how I do the healing process for my clients. This is what I recommend. But if you've had your permanent makeup done with another artist, please follow their steps, as every artist will have slightly different preferences on the healing process. So for my clients for the lip tattoo, what I recommend is a very nice natural healing lip balm, applying this for a good week after the treatment. Really important to minimally apply this balm with a cotton bud, not your finger because of infection, over the lip area, not a thick layer, a very light layer. For the first 48 hours, I would dab and blot the lip with a damp cotton pad or a water wipe, and then after 48 hours, start applying this balm, very minimally with a cotton bud. You also want to keep the lips relatively dry with water and sort of letting things run over the lip. So if you're having a shower, washing your face, just be careful and wash around the treatment area, and then drink through a straw for about 48 hours if you can. Again, because of infection purposes, if you're gonna drink something really hot as well and you put the hot cup on your lip, it might be a little bit sensitive. And as well, just from a clinical clean perspective, a straw is the best option for you. Immediately after your treatment, the lips may be a tad swollen and they may stay a bit swollen for the first 3 days. So we give you a nice cooling pack to rest on the lip to help with the swelling. I advise putting this in the freezer and then wrapping it in like a water wipe or a tissue and then rest it on the lips. With the swelling, it is one of the first stages of the healing process. So I wouldn't worry, it is completely normal. If you think about we've just scratched over the lip with a needle, you're gonna have some kickback from the skin. So swelling is completely normal. If you get very, very excessive swelling, then you may need to get medical attention. But in my whole 8-9 years of doing this, I've never had anyone really sort of quadruple in size with the lip treatment. Another thing with the swelling, usually when you lay flat and then when you sit up, it's going to be a little bit more puffy. If you think about when you just wake up in the morning, usually everything's a little bit puffy anyway. So if first thing in the morning, the day after, you may see that it's a bit more swollen. When you start to walk around, usually it does come down. So please don't worry, put the cool pack on and it will soon reduce. You also have some instructions in your aftercare pack which you should follow. In these instructions, it's your general aftercare advice. No saunas, no sunbeds, no salt water, no excessive exercise for the first 2 weeks. Try not to get them drenched, so wash around. Don't pick, don't touch the lips, as the lips are basically an open wound, so you don't want to keep touching them with your hands. Try to just leave them alone and let them heal on their own. So I'm just going to run through what will happen within the first week of the healing process. So day 1, the colour will be bright. Depending on the colour will depend on where it's going to go. If you've had a nude colour, it will look more of a deeper version. If you've had like a really bright colour, it will look even brighter for the first 1 to 3 days. Completely normal, please don't worry. It has to be brighter and more intense in order for the colour to retain and heal in the skin. So it's always going to be bold and bright for the first 3 days. You may feel a bit of tightness. You may feel sort of a tingly sensation. After day 3, the pigment will start to lift off the lip. This depends on every client. You might start peeling from day 2, but usually it's sort of day 3 to 5. You'll have a flaky process where the pigment in the epidermis, which is the top layer, will start to come out. So it's not all going to come off at once. It would be nice if you could just peel it all off, but you're going to have a few days, usually day 3 to 5, where it's a little bit on and a little bit off, because you're going to have patches of colour coming out, and naturally that is the epidermis getting rid of that pigment in the top layer. Once all the flaking happens and you've not picked it, you've just let it come off. When you apply the balm on, usually it will sort of come off. You don't want to physically like pick the flakes off, but when you're applying the balm, if it's sort of lifting off, that's absolutely fine, but please don't pick it, because you will cause the flake to come off sooner than it should, and it could cause a little patch in the work, which you don't want. Once the flakes are off, the colour can look a little bit light and milky. This is just how the lips heal, so you have to be patient. Day 5 is not the end result, so you have to be patient, let the lips heal and do their thing. So from day 5 to the 4-week official healing, the lip colour may fluctuate. It might go a bit light, then it will start to blossom throughout the healing process. This is completely normal, and this is why we cannot go back in and tattoo again. Soonest 4 weeks. I prefer to do 6 weeks to allow the lips to completely heal, but you must not go back in and tattoo again until the lips are completely recovered, because we don't know how much more it's going to blossom. So that is sort of an overall of how it will look for you. Then we will go back in for a review session. So all of these symptoms are completely normal. What you want to avoid during the healing process is wearing a face mask immediately after the treatment for long periods of time. So say you work in the medical field and you have to wear masks for like 8 hours a day. You need to figure out a way of having this treatment so you don't have to wear that for at least a week. Because when you wear a mask and you cover your face, your lips and your nose up, you're not getting the amount of oxygen and open air that you need to heal, and the risk of infection drastically shoots up. So you really don't want to avoid wearing a mask during the healing process. And an infection can look sort of pussy, yellowy, whitish consistency, and you'll have to go and get some antibiotics to clear that up. And again, make sure that you know about the cold sore viral situation during the healing process. If you're prone to cold sores, you are best to get the acyclovir tablets or the Zovirax. Take it before your treatment, and then you will very unlikely have an outbreak. If you get really bad outbreaks and you take the medication, it will suppress. It may not completely get rid of the outbreak, but it will happen on day 3 of the healing process. If you see a little patch during the healing, say it's got to 4 weeks, it's not really going to change now because it's blossomed 4 to 6 weeks. If you have a little patch or sort of a little inconsistent with the overall lip tattoo, don't worry, that's the whole reason that you come back for that second session. Usually the inner part of the lower lip will be a little bit lighter. This inner part here is renowned for not taking colour as well as the rest. So what we would do on your second session is really focus in that inner part, and we would get the lips as perfect as we can. So that's pretty much it for the short term healing of the aftercare. Long-term aftercare is SPF. Please wear SPF if you go in the sun, as you can get it as a lip balm chapstick with like SPF 30 and go over your lips, because the UV loves to break down that pigment. So if you're a sunbed worshipper, which is not good, then your lips won't last as long, because basically the sun is breaking down the pigment particles. So please wear SPF and look after your skin as much as you can. If you have strong chemical peels or retinol, if you go over the lip, again, that is gonna fade the PMU faster than letting it heal naturally. So that is it for the aftercare section. I am going to attach a download with my full aftercare instructions in written form if you want to have a little look. So I hope that's helped, and I'll see you in the next video.